We back with that Tartarus arc right now, people. Fairy Tail episodes, back to reviewing it, and I'm hype as shit. For starters, let's talk, because it's been a bit since I've talked about Fairy Tail or whatever. It's been about a month and a half or so, something along the lines of that. And honestly, I want to talk about the art and animation and just how much of a radical departure they've gone with the color scheme of Fairy Tail anime in general, because Fairy Tail used to be a really, really bright show, and it's still very colorful, but they have this, like, look to it now that some people don't like, some people like. Personally, I think it gives it, like, sort of a cinematic feel and a movie quality-ish type of look, because it, like, looks a little bit more, I want to say, realistic to a certain extent, where it kind of looks like real-world colors instead of just being super, super bright. It's kind of like these bright-looking colors, but with like a tint to it or whatever. So just the way the Fairy Tail anime looks now, I personally think that it makes it look more serious. I'm not saying that it's necessarily better than it used to look, but at the end of the day, it gives it more of a, again, cinematic feel. It feels more like you're watching a movie or whatever. And this episode, honestly, starting off the Tartarus arc, this is how you start it off. I mean, this is how you introduce motherfuckers and say, things are serious right now. I mean, you start off and, yeah, some of the parts did drag on, like when the councilmen were talking for quite a while or whatever. It was kind of like, okay, can you shut up already? But when Jackal comes in, it's just like, bam! And the voice, they nailed it. I would say that they nailed the voice for Jackal as well. He just sounded on point. And honestly, it just showed that he's a heartless bastard, and they really are demons. They really are motherfuckers that you should fear. When he had the dude's head on the ground and he's letting off the explosion, it was just like, it's building up intensity to a whole other level for Fairy Tail. Like, this is honestly the most serious I felt Fairy Tail has ever been, and that's this arc right here, Tartarus. Like, when Doran Bolt is there and he could do nothing but run away and see his comrades die, you know shit is real. Honestly, you know shit is real. So, starting off the episode already with a bang. Again, it starts like a huge uprise, and then like there's a little bit of downtime, like where we got to see Fairy Tail, you know, lounging and chatting and getting the reports of Minerva and stuff like that. So again, it was just kind of like leveling things out. Not necessarily a bad thing or whatever, but at the end of the day, you know, it was kind of like from a really, really high to just kind of like a chill mode for a second, and kind of giving exposition of like Fairy Tail, how they found out or whatever, what's going on. But honestly, between the beginning and then also seeing Doran Bolt's desperation going to Cobra for help, and then not only does he like beg him first, and Cobra's like, yo, you gotta let all my people free if you want any knowledge, then he goes to the point of, motherfucker, I'm not playing, and puts a knife to the dude's neck. If that's not showing the level of desperation on Doran Bolt's part, and just the level of drama that the situation is right now, how serious it is, I don't know what is. Like, he's going to a jail inmate for help, and then threatening him when he doesn't get the answers that he wants. I'm like, yeah, this is showcasing, once again, the level of threat that Tartarus really is, and it's showing that they were built up for a reason, because they're deadly. The only part of the episode I will say that was like, just shut up, was when we had to hear Yajima and Laxus' crew talk for a while, and that was supposed to build up, like, you know, the level of like surprise and shock value of like when the guy came in, what was his name, Calamity or whatever he called himself, like, oh, okay, like, you know, it's quiet and everything, and then bam, but like, they were talking for quite a while, and it was just like, yeah, please just shut up, and can we get to the next part or whatever. That's the only part of the episode I felt like dragged out a little bit too long, of them like talking and kind of like the little filler bits that they added or whatever. But then when Calamity comes in, you gotta think how many crazy things happen and how much build up, epic build up at that, happened in this episode. For starters, with Jackal coming in and killing all the councilmen. There is no death in Fairy Tail. The entire council died, regardless if you want to call them fodder or not. I mean, at the end of the day, they're the old elders that we've heard about for so long. So it's like, yeah, so you got Jackal comes, kills everybody, kills dude right in front of Doran Bolt, heartless as ever. Doran Bolt going and threatening Cobra after asking him for help is like, you ain't gonna help me, motherfucker? Okay then. Then Calamity coming in, blowing up the little restaurant that Yajima started, trying to kill Yajima, fucking up all of Laxus' people. Like, you're building this up so good right now, because it's like, Laxus' people were trying. Like, you know, they tried to do something, but it wasn't happening. I think her name is Evergreen, if I'm correct. She tried, and it was like, you ain't hurting them. And then, like, Laxus shows up with an epic setup for Laxus versus Calamity, or whatever the hell you want to call him. I think in the manga he was called something else, but I won't spoil what his name is just in case or whatever. But it was just, like, so much great starts, like, right here. It just started off so great for an arc, honestly. It's just, like, the only parts I would say is, like, the Fairy Tail lounging and Yajima and those people talking, whatever. Those were the only parts that I felt like it was a little bit slow, and especially the Yajima stuff, it was like, I think it was a little bit fillerish as well, like some of the conversation they had. So it was just like, whatever. But the pieces that we had and the great start for the Tartarus arc, Let's go. The look, the feel, everything is real right now. The intensity is high, and I'm really excited for the Fairy Tail Tartarus arc right now in the anime, honestly. Like, this episode, if I had to give it one, I would argue between 8.5 to a 9. It was very good to a great, and especially for a start, it's definitely a great start for an arc that is very promising. But let me know what you guys thought of this episode. How do you feel the beginning of the Tartarus arc? I will tell you, it's Fairy Tail. There will be bumps in the road. Everything ain't going to be smooth sailing for this arc because I'm a manga reader, obviously. But I will say once again, get prepared for an epic ride because this Tartarus arc is some real serious shit, people. And your overall thoughts of the episode. But that's all I have for this review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, if you could do so as well, that'd be amazing. I'm ForneverWorld. And as always, people, have an awesome day.